Hi, my name is Alex. I work as a fraud strategist for a bank. Today I'm going to do a presentation on the Proc SG features of SAS, which is a way that you can get the story from the data. So I'll be stepping you through some simple analysis to step you through simple linear regression. We're going to be covering some business analysis, comparing data against different time points, and then we're going to render a 3D model using Proc SGRENDER. We're going to start this part of the presentation to see using the famous iris dataset to see whether we can predict sepal length from sepal width. So this is a simple linear regression. I'm going to just show a couple of features of the SAS code that can be quite handy. So if you look at the SAS code here, in these first couple of steps, I'm actually selecting the species Setosa into a dataset called alex.iris. And then I'm running an SG plot against alex.iris. But actually, there is an easier way to do this. And so you can actually use the where keyword and say, put in the species name. So I've set up a macro variable called species, Setosa, and then we can run that. So let me just make sure I've got my lib name set up. And I'm running SAS Enterprise Guide 7.1. It's available through SAS On Demand for Academics. This is a free home education version running on my home laptop, so I thoroughly recommend you check it out if you're not already using it. Very handy, very good. And the SAS help datasets are all available as part of your standard SAS installation as well, and also available in the education versions of the software. So let's just run this and see what we get. So what we're looking at here is we're looking for normal distribution on sepal width. So we create a histogram and then we look at the normal distribution curve. So let's see what this gets us. So maybe I should do this like the cooking programs and like cook some things first so I can just bring them straight out the oven. And so here we are. And well, actually it looks like I actually ran everything. So this does save us some time. So this is for Setosa. So this is a frequency histogram, and you see that it pretty much fits the natural, pretty much fits the normal distribution. So we can move forward with looking at this data set just to see whether this is something that we could run a simple linear regression on to take the sepal width to predict the sepal length of an iris. So some people may be wondering, what's a sepal? And I had to look this up. So the sepal are the leaves that surround a bud. So when the flower blooms, you still see the sepals underneath the petals. Okay, so we'll go back to our program. And another good feature of the SG Proc series is SG panel. So if I wanted to do this for all the species in the iris dataset, I can just substitute SG panel instead of SG plot. And since we have the results, hopefully it would have run the SG panel. And here we are. So we have three species of iris, the Setosa, the versicolor, and the virginica. And again, they all pretty much show normal distribution. So I picked Setosa, but you could do this analysis using either the other two. So let's continue. We've met the assumption of normal distribution. Now we're going to look at a scatter plot. And if any of you saw my other video for this, introducing my paper, you would have seen me talk about homoskedasticity. So that, for me, is a very difficult word to say, even more difficult to spell, because when I learnt it, it had a K in, but I no longer see it spelt with a K, so I guess I have to change that to a C. So that's kind of like that song, Lisa with a Z and not an S, homoskedasticity with a C and not a K. So as anyone who has studied statistics knows, there are really some very simple fundamental concepts, but then as part of the process, they're made fairly opaque and impenetrable. So we use a term, homoskedasticity, which really means equal variance throughout the sample. So for any pair of points, when you plot this, you should see that the variance doesn't really differ throughout the sample. So you might be saying, Alex, how do I know if I've got homoskedasticity? I say, hey, I'm impressed that you can pronounce that correctly first go, because I had to practice this. So I'll demonstrate here with Proc SGScatter. So if we look at the results for Proc SGScatter, we see the points are either side of the regression line. So the regression line is the line of best fit. So what this means is it really minimizes the difference between your expected values or your predicted values and the actual values you get. And so when you see the points either side of the line, you can pretty much draw two more straight lines along these points. If you're seeing anything like a cone going either way, either going out here or coming down this way, that means you haven't got equal variance. So that's referred to as heteroskedasticity. So if you have homoskedasticity, equal variance, then you've met another assumption in order to perform linear regression. So let's come back to this. So let's see. So this is another example of SGplot here, where you can actually, instead of using SGScatter, you can use SGplot to create a scatter plot. And we can show that on the results just a little bit further down. And you have some additional information here, the 95% prediction limits with the dotted lines, and the 95% confidence limits that are the shaded border here. And again, you can see this, you can just substitute SGplot for SGpanel, and just for the data set with all the species in, and then you get the same in the panel plot. Okay, so there are some other assumptions of linear regression that have to be met. We're going to assume we've met all those. So now we run our simple linear regression model. And so here we go. We've got the simple linear regression model here. This is pretty straightforward. It's a proc reg, so linear regression. It's called simple linear regression because you only have one input variable for one output or a predicted variable. So let's take a look at the results. So what we're looking at here is we're using the default value of a PR value we're looking at that is no larger than 0.05. So that's what's also known as the 95% confidence limit. So we see that the PR value for the model is way smaller than 0.001, which means the model displays statistical significance. What that means is there's a less than 5% chance that the results we are seeing are just random, that there is actually something in the model here which implies that it may be possible to predict sepal length from sepal width. But you have to be very careful when you say that, because we're not talking cause and effect. We're simply saying a pattern we see in one data can be observed in a pattern that we see in another data, and we've established a relationship with the data that helps you use the pattern in one data to predict the pattern in another data. And then this includes some of the metrics that you can use. So you have an R-squared value, which says really the variation that we see in the sepal width explains about 55% of the variation that we see in sepal length. Now, I always prefer to take the adjusted R-squared when I'm modeling, because what that tells me is that's a better comparison if you have different numbers of input variables in your model. So it controls for that. So I always go by this measure, because then I don't have to come back and adjust for the number of input variables in my model. So we look down here, we see the intercept, that's significant because the PR value is less than 0.05, and sepal width is significant as well. So what this model tells us is that we can use sepal width to predict what sepal length is. Now I'm going to adjust here, so anyone who's been totally bored by statistics, this might be a little bit more exciting because look, we've got lines, we've got dotted lines, we've got dashed lines, we've got solid lines, we've got all sorts of pretty colors. So this is really a business analysis model, and I've taken this from SAS Help dataset called it's OR sales, and maybe okay, so it's SAS Help OR sales, here it is. And so what I have to do is I have to prepare this data set so I can run SGplot on it. So there's a lot of information here. It's explained more in my presentation paper. What this allows me to do, and this is based on an example I had to work on for work, but obviously I can't show you that because of all the various restrictions on the data. So it does lend itself quite well to this OR sales data set. So let me just take you through a few of the things here. So what we're doing is we're comparing units sold, which is the solid line, and profit, which is the dashed line, and then by quarter. And then you see with each of these lines, each of these colors represent a different year. So we see some interesting patterns here. So units sold and profit broadly follow each other. It also looks like the seasonality because we have the numbers tending to peak in Q2 and Q3. Not always the case. There are examples where this doesn't quite follow that. But then one interesting thing here in this blue line for 2002, we see a separation between units sold and profit. So that's definitely something that we could dig into to see why we have that opening up there, because it really suggests that even though we're selling a lot of units, we're not really realizing profit. So it may be something around pricing, it may be something around the inventory chosen, but that would definitely be something worth looking into. So the final thing I want to look at really is something I wanted to call this ripped from the SAS manual, but I guess a better description would be ripped off from the SAS manual, because I just lifted it from the SAS manual, ran the code, and got this wonderful three-dimensional representation of height, weight, and density. And that is available in the SAS manual for you to run. And that's using Proc SGRENDER. So there's two steps to this. One is you have to create your stat graph template. And this is lifted straight from the SAS stat graph manual. And so you create your template, and then to actually run it, super easy. You just have your input data set, which has got the parameters you're looking for here, height, weight, density, and then you use your template and you get this wonderful graph. And one of my colleagues where I work, he's used this a lot to present data in all sorts of interesting ways. Thanks a lot for watching this presentation. I hope you found it useful. And you can explore the Proc SG features further through the SAS documentation, and also in the links to my presentation and paper below. If you like this presentation, you can subscribe to the SAS YouTube channel at the links above. Thanks a lot. Bye.